Alright, hi, my name is Baby Snake. I am a member of Ura Legends. It's a club that's top 300 club, and I guess we kind of have a pretty strong PvP arm to that. Not anything official, just a lot of really strong people, a lot of CM players, team trial players, and recently I did pretty well in team trials. We were able to reach 27th, 28th now, in the world on team trials, 708k points. So I talked about this with some people in a voice chat, and I wanted to talk a little bit about, how we got here and how I did it, and explain my team and the ideas I was thinking about. Uh, and some people said that, this would be good as like a video because I talked for so long. I talked for like 30 minutes almost. And I thought it'd be interesting to make a video like this to be a time capsule of sorts, something to be looked back upon in the future, something that I can look back on and say, well, what did we do? How did this work? What were we thinking at the time? A little bit of background on me. Am I didn't really know much about Musume before I started playing Global when it released. I had watched the first season of the anime because a friend of mine is very into horses, got me into that. I watched a lot of horse stuff, barrel racing, stuff like that. And I watched the first season of Musume. And then on Twitter I saw a lot of comics about Agnes Tachyon. I thought that she was really silly and fun. And so when the game came out, I was like, oh, I watched the first season of this. I like Tachyon. I think she's fun. I'll try the game. And I got into the game, and since then I've played a good amount. I have a lot of pretty good units on here. I have pretty decent cards, as you can see. MLB Super Creek, MLB Suzuka, MLB Kita-san, wherever she is, here she is, Satono, Tazuna. So I have a lot of the materials necessary to do really well at the game. And I just kind of got into Team Trials. I like it a lot, and so I thought I would talk a bit about how I was able to get to 708k. When I first started doing Team Trials, I was just trying to retain Class 6, and as anybody who's tried to do that knows, it's not easy. I was able to overshoot Class 6 and nearly hit top 10,000. And, sorry, you might hear some Discord sounds throughout this. I'll try to mute that. But I tried to hit top 100, or I tried to get in Class 6. I got to top 10, near top 10,000. I tried to get into top 10,000, got like 8,000. I was like, oh, if I'm at 8,000, let me try to get into, stay in 8,000. Then I actually hit 5,000. And just over time, each week, my goal increased until I was near top 100. And really had to pull deep for that. I got top 100 for the first time about, I don't even remember. I think it was like mid-August or something like that. And I have been in top 100 since. We did a little thing for our club, and it was shown that I had been in top 10 times in a row. So I've been, or top 100 10 times in a row. So I would consider myself a player that has decent technical knowledge, and I do think that I have pretty decent opinions and understanding of how Team Trials works and how the game works. So yeah, I just thought I would talk about it because 700k is one of these things I never thought I'd be able to do. I remember getting in a top 100 for the first time and just looking and seeing like Godsu and Lizzie. Where's Lizzie at? Oh my God, 19th. It's all good, Lizzie. You've done well. You've been first before. Pretty great player here. They have a YouTube channel, which I've seen some people post before. Yakub, a bunch of really great players, and I saw them getting 700k. I was like, well, I can't do that. I mean, when I got into top 100, I was at like 605k. Like that was a good enough score back then, and now that barely even gets you into like top 1,000. So the game has shifted. It's become more competitive in team trials, and I got more competitive with it. And I finally was able to break 700K, and this is before Unity Cup came out. That was the big deal to me. Once Unity Cup comes out, it's obviously not going to be too hard. As you can see here, yeah, we only have Unity Cup. So, to me, getting 700K before the end of Ura Finals was a big deal to me, and a great way to send it off to a really fantastic team. Before we talk about my actual team, I need to do a couple of superlatives and honorable mentions. I really want to talk about a couple of really fantastic Umas. Ignore all these Oguri caps. These are just for fans. I was just doing fan runs for my club to hit. I did 100 million fans in 1 month, which was pretty cool. For one, I guess actually, this is a really old school Matakane Fuku Kitaru. Before Kiyosan Black even came out. This is what I used to be rocking. 0 LBs, that was the life back then. We've improved since then, and my first superlative is this anime Majiro McQueen. 1190 speed, 1119 stamina, 774 power, long S, 5 gold skills, red shift L, and a deck that at the time was very endemic of how I liked to design things. My opinions on deck building have changed a lot over time, and as with anything, the game has to change and evolve, but this is what I was doing back then. 4 speed, 2 stamina. I believed very much in pure, specific, pointed decks that didn't run a lot of one-offs. We'll see that changed over time. The idea was to get as many good gold skills as possible and build a really strong Uma. And this Uma was not only the ace of my long team for many months as I was in top 100 and helped me get into top 100, she also won me CM2. She was the reason that I think I had like a 90% win rate in CM2. Her and my long gold ship, who we will be talking about later, she is still being utilized. But I guess real quick I should introduce the concept of what I call EAS. EAS is a measure on a Uma that tells you about how good they are in terms of skills, right? Like, assume the two Umas both win their race and they both get a pretty decent victory. What it then comes down to is who had the most skill activations. Who had the most skill activations and who got the most points from that. In team trials anyway. EAS is a way to measure that. EAS, the way that you calculate it is you take each gold skill and multiply it by 2.2, because gold skills give you 2.2 times as many points as a regular skill, as a white skill. And for these green skills, you add the percentage chance that they could activate. Firm has a 77% chance of activating, so we'll add 0.77. So we have 5 times 2.2 is 11, plus 1 is 12, plus 0.77. So this has an E of 12.77. That's the effective skills. If she had 12 white skills, or if she had 12.77 white skills, it would be no different point-wise from this. If they both won the race, they would have the exact same scores at the end, usually, right? Like the effective amount of skills are the same. The average skills, the A part, is the effective skills times their wood activation rate. Wood activation rate is 100 minus 9,000 divided by wit. So for for 361, that would be, let me do this. That would be a 75.06% chance of activating, so let's multiply that by 12.77. And we see 9.58. So the actual average amount of skills that we should expect to activate is about 9.58 skills. So on average, we should see something like, 3 rare skills and 3 regular skills activate. Although I guess with this that doesn't really work because she doesn't have regular skills, but that's kind of how it works. EAS is going to be very important as we go forward. It's going to determine a lot of how we look at UMAs. It's going to determine a lot of how we figure out how UMAs perform and how we're going to make decisions. And it's a big tool in my toolbox of building UMA Musumes. So this is kind of the first Uma. She did very well, and she's very strong. She's no longer on the team because 12.7 over 9.5 EAS is not particularly good. And we're going to see later that we're going to have Umas with much higher EAS than that. The second one is going to be Vodka. Very strong Vodka, 1200 speed, 1200 power, 537 stamina, breath of fresh air. This is a much more modern Uma. This is a much more modern design. As you can see, she was made over a month and a half later. We can start to see some of the more modern design decisions I was doing. Kawakami Princess, using Ice Sheen Flash, and she achieves a much better score. I should talk about concentration. Concentration is going to be counted as 3.3 instead of 2.2. So we're going to do that. So she's got an EAS of 16.1. And then we have an EAS of 16.1 over 12.5. So that's pretty decent. We're going to get higher than that later as well. But she's very powerful. She won me CM3, like literally won me it. She even won the last, the final race. CM3 I didn't do great on because I didn't build any Umas for it, and I just used my Team Trials characters, so I got like a 70% win rate in CM3, which I think is fine. Some people don't. Whatever floats your boat, man. And the reason both these Umas came out is just because they were kind of struggling to hit the 707 marks that I needed, or the 700k marks that I needed. McQueen, she's so good, she's so powerful, she's such a good Uma, and I'm really sad that I couldn't take her to the top there. But she also sat in top 100 for 10 weeks in a row, so, I mean, can anybody really doubt her power? And honestly, with the score I got in the end of 707k, yeah, she could have been there, or 708k, she could have been there. She easily could achieve those scores. And I didn't actually have to take her out in the end, but I did, and we'll now look at that team. So this is my team trial team. If you know me, if you're in Ura Legends, then you might have seen my tier list. And my tier list talks about Umas that I think are optimal in certain positions, Umas I think are good, and Umas I think are bad. There's only a couple of bad Umas in my opinion. These are like things like King Halo, where they just have very bad uniques that don't activate very often, and they just struggle a lot. I think most Umas are good. I think you can play basically anything you want 90% of the time, and you will have no issues. But, there are some Umas like Agnes Tachyon, who is amazing and perfect, and you kind of have to run her in medium pace. It should also be noted, I guess, just in case you don't know, there is a bonus called Good Positioning Bonus that you get by being the front of your style, by being the number one runner in your style at the beginning of the medium and beginning of the late race. And so we are heavily incentivized to run different Umas on different styles in each team. We do not want to have 2 pacers on the same team. We'll talk about why I have 2 pacers on dirt later. But as you can see on the rest of them, we have a front, a pace, a late, front, pace, late, front, pace, end, pace, late, end. Just don't have overlap if you can. Without further ado, though, let's talk about sprint with my ace, Air Groove. This is a level 2 potential Air Groove, I think. And at the time, that was pretty good. I think I wasn't super impressed by a lot of the things that were offered in the later potentials. So, I only went for potential 2. Nowadays, I actually do think that those layer potentials are actually really good, especially her level 5, I think is actually pretty excellent. As we can see here, we're looking at like 7.7, 6.6 plus 3.3. We're looking at like a 16.9 E on like 15.9 A. We're looking like a 16.9 over 15.9 EAS. Really good. 1200 speed, low on the power, no gold recovery skills, totally fine. Yeah, I mean, great Uma. Does a lot of the good stuff that you need. The deck, it's pretty good. I really believe in Majiro Dober. I think she's one of the best cards in the game. She offers potentially up to 105 skill points, and her gold skill, bigger picture, is very cheap and effective. If I were to go back and redo this one, I think I would probably just do it the exact same way. I don't think that there's a ton of way to improve this. I would probably run Kawakami Princess over Bakshin. Going into Curran, we can see that this is pretty much the same thing, just no Majiro Dober because like we don't. This is also before Majiro Dober came out, obviously, but she's not late. You know, I think she's really good. We could probably talk about Tazuna here in a second, but I built her. I think she's powerful. I think that she did a very good job. I never felt the need to change her. She did have some weak performances every now and then where she would get a 20 or 25k run. Most of the time she was more in that 30 to 40k range, so she's totally good. Yeah, I could see changing this though. This is once again probably would run Kawakami Princess instead of Bakshin. We can get the speed other ways, and Kawakami Princess is so strong. I guess that's one thing we should probably talk about is like what makes a support good or bad, because we're gonna be talking a lot about that. So Tazuna is kind of the canonical example, right? When you think about a strong card in team trials, if you've been around team trial discourse at all, you're thinking of Tazuna. Tazuna offers 3 very important things. For one, she offers a lot of mood control, a lot of ways to keep your mood up and to keep your Umas effective and to increase their training effectiveness in training. She also offers concentration. Her gold skill, you have a 50-50 chance at the end of her event chain to get concentration. Concentration will usually cost about 220-ish 220-ish skill points. And so that means that if it's worth 3.3, then we can see that that would be, that would be about 66 or 67 skill points per effective skill. This skill points per skill thing is something we're going to be thinking about a lot, and it's going to, once again, guide our decisions on how we are going to build Umas. But effectively, you want to get as many skills as you can for as few skill points as you can. Like, the more skills you have, the more activations you get. As long as you win the race, you're good. So building an Uma that can win the race and then activate a lot of skills, kind of very important. She also offers tail held high if you can get her to start dating before junior year. And you get 3 skill hints with that, and then mixed with Marvelous Sunday, you can get a maxed tail held high. So very good, very strong. 2 cards that are a little more contentious is going to be Majiro Dober. So Majiro Dober, once again, offers a bunch of events that give you a bunch of skill points. You can get about 105 or 115 skill points just from her events, and then she gives you this cheap 220 gold skill. 220 for a gold skill would be 100 skill points per skill, so that's pretty good. We generally want to keep our skill point per skill at or below 100. It'd be nice if we can get it lower than that, but it's hard sometimes. Usually we're hitting like 110, maybe even 115 or 120. But another card that does something similar to what Dober does is Matakane Fukukitaru. Matakane Fukukitaru offers a lot of skill points, and if you can take a hit on the skill points, you can also get right-handed, which is extremely useful for certain styles such as Mile, where Mile has an 81% chance um, of being right-handed. I think Long has a 77% chance. I'm kind of just doing this off the cuff. I don't have a script or anything. I'm just kind of going off of like what I remember and kind of think about these things. So some of these numbers could be wrong, and before you start acting on any of them, if any of this stuff interests you, I would definitely double check these things. But Matakane Fukukitaru, she is a good card. I struggle to find a lot of niche cases to use her. Um, a person in the club, Quasar, highly recommends her, and I understand the points being made. I don't personally like it as much, um, but I do think there's a strong contention for her being very good. So Majira Dober gives these gold skills, gives skill points. That massively drops your skill points, um, per skill, and it also gives you more skill points. So it does both. It's going to increase the number of skills you can buy and decrease the amount that you're spending on getting them. Very good. And that's why we have, 17 EAS, even though we only did like 17 races. We got away with it. That whole skill point efficiency thing and the idea of getting additional skill points is going to come into play later. This is my S rank box sheet. We should probably talk a little bit about how high level team trials works. So when you're in team trials, and you hit team race, you're going to be given three options. You're going to be given a high roll, a medium roll, and a low roll. The lower one is going to be within 10,000 points below you. The higher one's going to be like 10,000, like 11,000 above you, and then the middle one's going to be within a range of like 2,000 around you. So you can re-roll, and as you get higher up, you'll notice that like there's not that many people here. Like, let's just click through for a bit. I'm just going to show you. Why is this why is connection not working? Uh-oh. I don't know what's going on. That's strange. Okay, it worked. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. So as we just kind of click through, we'll, see a lot of different people. But if you keep clicking through, you're going to see repeats. There's not that many people up here, especially as you get higher and higher. If you get up to like A5, you have like even less people. It becomes a reasonable strategy to eventually figure out people you have good matchups against and who don't have particularly strong Umas, and kind of farm them, so to speak. Just like go after them over and over again. I have three targets in mind that I specifically liked going against here. We had Niche, N-I-C-H, who is kind of the canonical target that a lot of people talk about for my range. There. Perfect timing. Here's Red Hawk. This is who I scored the 708 against, and this is who I got a lot of my best scores against. Red Hawk is a, trainer that, like, I mean, they have some pretty decent people. I mean, look at this. This is a reasonable gold ship. It has all the things you'd expect on there. I really don't know why. I just have a really good matchup against them, and I tend to beat them pretty well, even though nothing about them is particularly bad. Like, I mean, look at this gold. Like, this gold ship, or sorry, this Oguri cap is actually really like not terrible. But this is who I hit the best against. Even though Niche and another person I target named Mom, M-O-M, are both really good targets that people like to go against, for some reason Red Hawk just like fucking it hits. It's just the right thing. Okay, and then we lost. That's cool. Great example. Um, great example of how this is gonna work. Wow, that's really funny actually. Yeah, so for the 708 win, we had to get like basically 130 on each UMA. We can see here, yeah, 620 is really bad. My long team only got, what was it, like 90k or 7, what did they get? They had something pretty bad. 79,000, yeah. They would normally get closer to 120 or 130. So if you have 50,000 on there to get more to their normal score, it's like 670k. pretty good. I mean, top 100 easily, but you know, it's also inside that range for the 700K. This is my favorite target. This is my favorite person to go against. And it doesn't feel as cheap and sleazy as some of the other options. So, um, yeah, so because you want to target certain people and you want to go against people that you know that you have a good matchup against, having Umas like this Baksheen, allows you to fine tune your range, right? So right now I'm at 200,566, and if I use a different Baksheen, this is actually a stronger Baksheen. The skills and everything are much better than on my S rank one. Then I can get down 2,000 points. So my range on this for teams that are actually effective that I feel like I can get good scores with, I have a range between 197,000 and 204,000. I have a 7,000 point range, which allows me to find people and to go up and down as I kind of please. So this Baksheen here, not actually my best Baksheen, but this is the one I'm using because this gets me to the exact range I want to. A couple of my other Umas are lowering the score right now. She's bringing the score up so I can still hit my 3 good targets. I mean, she's fine. You know, this is a bit older, September 1st. Like, this is before Sand Sky. This is before a lot of stuff. It was just a whip build, and it did well. Not much to say about her. Baksheen's awesome. Okay, so this is Brian, Narita Bryan. I think Narita Bryan's really good, and I also pulled for her because I thought people said that she was going to be really strong. She is. She is really strong. I don't know if I would pull her. I don't. If I went back, I don't think I would have pulled her like this. And yeah, as you can see, this is not like a particularly convincing skill set either. We have an EAS of like maybe 12-ish, like less than 12. No, this is 12.6 plus some around it. This is like 13 EAS. So this is like not this is not terrible, I suppose. But she could really use more skills. But what happened with her really is that she just wins. Like, she's a very strong Uma. She's a very, very strong Uma. And so she wins her races. And, you know, honestly, I just never really saw much of a reason to change her out. The Mile team can get a max score of about 150,000 on a good day. If you get, like, a good head victory. And a more reasonable high roll that you'll see in every, like, 15 runs is, like, 140. 145, actually. They can hit like a 130, 140 pretty easy. But 145 I would say is kind of like the max like reasonable thing to be looking for. Which is more than good enough for me. I mean, that would if everybody got a 145, we'd be looking at, you know, like 730K. Like it'd be fine. So this Brian, I always thought she was fine. I just never felt the need to really replace her or improve her, and she could have been improved, but yeah. Her hard mode is interesting. I think that the hard mode in her career is interesting. And, yeah. I believe in a Mile Narita Bryan. Just because I don't think there's too many good pacers in Mile. You know, I think that pace is a very strong position. And I can't really think of too many other Umas that existed at the time anyway, who I'd really want to have on, like, Mile. Like, obviously people like Oguri Cap, we're going to talk about Oguri Cap in a minute. Obviously people like Oguri Cap, Condor Pasa, Taiki Shuttle. Yeah, I don't know. Brian was just the one that I thought was the best, and that's what I went with, and I'm pretty happy with it. Marzensky, you know, I pulled Summer Marzensky the day that Summer Marzensky came out. I got Summer Marzensky to 4-star the day that Summer Marzensky came out. I have everything I need to make a really great Summer Marzensky. I never ever trained one. And the reason why is this Marzensky is good. She's just good. Like, you look at this, you got 5 plus 6.6 plus 3.3. Okay, 14.9 EAS, or like 14.9 over 14 EAS. That's not amazing, but I mean, she wins. She wins. She's usually getting first. She probably should be the ace, actually. I hadn't really considered that. But, you know, she does really well. And once again, I just, my Mile has been doing really good. It's been getting 130K plus wins, and so I don't know. I just haven't taken the time to build them. I kind of like the idea of continuing to run her. I like the idea of trying to bring these Umas as high as I can without changing too much. Um, and now I'm kind of just waiting to do Summer Marzinski for the next scenario for the Unity Cup. Okay, this is a big one. So I'm going to talk a bit about a lot of things here. So Gold City is, in my opinion, the best Uma in the game. I think that she is the most powerful. I think she has the highest ceiling. I think that she is just insane and extremely slept on. And I actually think that she can do something that would make a team trial team so strong. If I really cared about being very high, I guess 28th in the world is very high. But if I want to be like a top 10 person, I know exactly how I do it, and Gold City is a huge part of that. So Gold City, you might be thinking like, well, why not vodka? You had that really good vodka. Why not that vodka? That vodka even brings up your skill, your team rank. The vodka has double S. She has nothing. So why are we using Chi-Chi? Gold City has a event called the work of a model. And the work of a model, the way that it works is it can happen any number of times during a run, and you're given an option between taking mood and stats. One sec, let me look at this. You can get mood and 10 stats, so 1 mood and 10 stats. I've had this event happen up to 7 times in a single run. So a bunch of mood up and a bunch of stats, or you can spend 15 energy and get 40 skill points. Remember how I talked about Dober being like super good because she gives a bunch of skill points? Well, if you mix Dober with Gold City, you end up getting upwards of 380 additional skill points just for existing on top of your runs. You can easily get over 2,000 skill points if you do things correctly. You pair that with Dober giving cheap skills, Ice Sheen Flash giving cheap long or cheap late corner and straightaway, Kawakami Princess giving that cheap center stage skill. This is a build that is purely about getting the most amount of skills into an Uma as possible. And I actually didn't really achieve it. This is not really the full build. This is still so far away from how good she can get. It's just, I guess I should talk about my playstyle. I don't really like doing Umas over and over again. I do not sit there and do 10, 15 runs. The most I have done is I did 6 runs of Summer Special Week. I did 6 runs of Summer Special Week, and that's as much as I could do. For this Gold City, I did 3 runs, and that's all I don't know. I move on to other stuff. I can't just force myself to do it over and over again, which does limit my potential a bit, but the ideal here would be to have Gold City on Dirt. She has D rank Dirt, which is just high enough to get A rank off of Inheritance Sparks from day 1. And so doing Gold City, Dirt, with Mile S, and just getting as much good stuff as you could, you would have, oh my god, such a freaking good Uma. And I really do think that she would be just like one of the strongest in your entire team and one of the strongest in the game. I tried to build Gold City Dirt, and there's just a couple of issues that she has, and I actually think I have a solution to that. I came up with my solution a little bit late for this whole, Unity Cup, or for this whole Ura Finals business, but, I think I have some plans here. Anyway, we run her because, oh my goodness, look at this. We have 9 skills plus 8.8. This is like an 18 over 17.2 EAS Uma. Man, that's good. She wins, she's strong, she's good, she's powerful, and she could be better. So, you know, amazing Uma. Ideally, vodka is so strong as well. Having vodka here and Gold City here, oh, that'd be perfect. Okay, unsurprisingly, Sand Sky. She thrives in medium. This is a very simple, obvious team. For her, we get the medium skills and good EAS. I mean, what else? What is there really to say about Sand Sky? Like, you know that she's good. If you know anything about Umasumi, you know that she's powerful. Yeah, front runner straight, front runner corners. What, like, she didn't even get all of her medium skills. Who cares? She wins. She easily scores 50 plus K on a lot of races. She's just good. Like, there's very little to say about Sand Sky. She's amazing. Angling and scheming is one of the best skills in the game. Front runner is one of the best positions in the game. Amazing Uma. Narita Taishin, man. So Narita Taishin, honestly, if I just am going to be completely honest with you, she just like isn't. She's good. Narita Taishin in general is good. This Narita Taishin is not particularly amazing, and honestly, I think there's better options in medium right now. I think you could probably do like Air Groove or Mayano Top Gun like late medium. I think you could do. I don't know. I mean, I feel like you could do just a lot of stuff. Saboli Rudolph End, maybe. I don't know, actually. Not that one. I'm kind of pulling out of my butt there. But Narita Taishin, in my opinion, is just so powerful. I can't really back it up. With Gold City, I will back up what I'm saying, and I really do believe that she is the strongest and the best and the most powerful and has the highest potential and is extremely slept on. Narita Taishin, I think. She has an event. Before you get to the Kikuwa show, Narita Taishin has an event. It's called Don't Say It. And in that event, a lot of the kind of drama and tension of her scenario and her career comes to a boil. And she, doesn't want to hear about how much of an underdog she is and how hard it's going to be for her to beat, an amazing Derby horse like Winning Ticket, and how strong, Biwa is. She doesn't want to be doubted, and she doesn't want to be looked on, and she wants people to see how strong she is. And I mean, listen, I understand that this is a game about mechanics, and that ultimately mechanics are what matters, but I really do believe that there is something to say for the emotions that you're supposed to feel and that you engage with the game with. I mean, you could say it's ridiculous all you want that, like, I'm running Narita Taishin, I'm running this specific Narita Taishin because I hold a sentimental value to it, but you know what? I got 708K. I got a 708K finish, and she was part of that, and she did a great job and got, I think, 38,000 points on it, and I believe in her. I believe in her 100%. I know that I could go back and I could do another Narita Taishin, and I could improve it, and I could do better and get a higher EAS and all these things, but I didn't want to sit there and say that I don't believe in this Narita Taishin and her ability to succeed. In CM3, on the first 2 days in the first round, I tried to train a Narita Taishin for CM3 because I had some extra time, and it was a hard run. It was a hard, difficult run, and she nearly lost, and she could barely keep up, going into the finals, and she just barely, after I had already used as many alarm clocks as I could, she had one last chance to win the finals. She had lost in the semifinals. She had lost multiple races during her career. She was right on the edge, and she just clutched it. And I just thought, it's so sad that she fought so hard and went so far and won the Ura Finals and succeeded and became a legacy Uma that I was trying to train for CMs, and she had like 700 speed and like 800 stamina or something. I don't really remember, but she wasn't particularly stat wise impressive, and her skills, she didn't get many of the skills because she lost so many races. But I believe in her, and I believe in my Umas, and so I took her to CM3 for one of the attempts on one of the days. I let her run, and she actually won one of the 5 races, and I was very proud of her. And then I, didn't use her again. Um, so that is to say, I'm not going to sit here and say this Nuria Taishin is indicative of how she should be built or what is like particularly amazing. And I know I could do better, and I know exactly how I would do better, especially because the Sweep Tosho SSR card's out, and I just understand more. I mean, why is Bakshin here? Um, but I I trusted this Nuria Taishin, and she didn't let me down, and so I'm very happy. Agnes Tachyon, man, one of my favorite Umas. She's so fucking funny. She's so silly. I love Agnes Tachyon. Um, one of the best units in the game. Agnes Tachyon has the amazing benefit of having both medium straight and medium corner in her potentials, and her unique is a gold recovery skill. If you just She has race planner in her kit as well in her potentials, so you don't have to bring any stamina cards. You don't have to bring anything. You can literally just do everything else. And so what we have is we have a 2 speed, 2 power, 1 wit, Tazuna, and I mean this thing rocks. This rocks. Yes, I do understand how to make this better now. This is a little bit older. This is from over a month ago, and I now have a 3 LB vodka, and I do understand a little better about how I can make this Uma more powerful. But man, I mean, Tachyon's just good. Like, I mean, I tell people run whatever you want in team trials, but you better be running Tachyon on medium pace, and you better be running Ogre Cap on pace dirt. Like, those are the only two. If I look at your team and I don't see those there, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, what are we doing? Why are we doing that? And if you have a reason, or you just it's what you want to do, that's fine. But I strongly, firmly believe. Look how low this stamina is, man. Such a cool Uma. Like, EAS wise, we're looking at what is medium left hand? Okay, medium left hand is a 50-50, so you have a 50% chance of this being left-handed or right-handed, and then standard distance is 75%. So this is like 1.25. We got I count this as 1.4, so like 2.6, 5.6, 8.8. Yeah, I think we're looking at like, what was that, like maybe like 15, something like that. 15 EAS, 15 over like 14.3 EAS. I don't know. Pretty good. She wins consistently. She's got, and she just does well. And I probably could have gone back, done better, but like I said, she was sufficient. Dodo. I love Dodo, man. I really do. The real life horse is very fun. I love their interaction with Meadow. I love their interaction with goats. I think it's really fun. I donated to the fundraiser for them to build a new barn at Northern Lake Farms. Love Dodo. And so when Dodo came out, I pulled for that. I actually waited to pull for them. I think I could be lying. I might have pulled for them before the fundraiser started. Well, either way, I got Dodo pretty quickly, and I set out to build them. And powerful. They're just powerful. Good, unique, good, consistent, unique. This is on long, so non-standard distance is OP on long. She's pace. It's easy to get these skills. And, this is ultimately really not actually the best we could have done with this. In retrospect, I feel like there's some things that I would have liked to do differently, but I did like 2 or 3 runs of Dodo. I got this, and I said this is sufficient. If I were to go back, I think I would probably take less stamina. I would take a little less stamina. I would take more power, and I would hopefully actually get some of these skills to come along. I mean, we have long corner 2. That tells you all you need to know. I wish I had long corner 1 and long straightaway 1, but whatever. Pretty good. This is, you know, 3Ds. Oh man, it's time. It's time for me to talk about Summer Special Week. So Summer Special Week's what unlocked everything, really. Is before this we had 2 Pace. We were doing Pace Dodo, and we were doing Pace Majiro McQueen anime. And before the Dodo was there, it was Pace Special Week, regular Special Week, and Pace Anime McQueen. And that was, you know, obviously an issue because we're missing on the good race bonus. So I finally set out to do a long late surger, and I chose Summer Special Week because she is on paper extremely good. Let me just show you something. I'm just gonna take a little walk over here. Where is she? Here she is. 19 races, 9 wins. She lost the Japan Cup, the Tenno Show, the Tozukuru Kinen. She lost Japan Cup, Queen Elizabeth Cup, Kikuwa Show, Takarazuka Kinen, Tokyo Yushun, Satsuki Show 14th. And you're like, wow, Satsuki Show 14th. That's really Hopeful Stakes 17th. This is like the most I've ever ran for an UMA, like to make them. I guess I actually did that for Nice Nature. I really tried to make a decent Nice Nature, and it's just kind of hard because Nice Nature is a very unique UMA, and just like this might look pretty good, but she didn't really perform super well. She needs more power. And it was mostly so I could build what I was going to call the Kitty Squad. It was going to be her, Seion Sky, and Dodo, because in real life they all really like cats, and I thought that'd be really funny to have my medium team all be Umas that really like cats. I wanted to do that. I wanted to do the BNW, Biwa Narita Taishin winning ticket as my long. I just don't like Biwa. I don't like Biwa. And that's really all there is to it. But yeah, other than that, ignoring the Oguri caps, I mean, like, yeah, here's that Tachyon from earlier. I did 2 runs, and that's how I got my Tachyon. These Sand Skies, these were parent runs. These were not the real ones. The real one, I think, was maybe even, it was a 2 and done. I did 2 races, and then they're done. I did 2 dodos, and then I was done. I did 3 dirt sheet cheese, and then I stopped. I did 3 mile sheet cheese, and I stopped. You know, I mean, this is just how I played the game, and there's not much I can do about that. So you have to understand that doing 7 runs on an UMA for me is a lot. And the best UMA I got, I didn't even break 12K on it, was this one. Pretty good. I mean, pretty good. 1034 speed, not amazing, but she has a long S. 877 stamina, a single gold recovery with her unique. This UMA is built to run 3,000 and below. You have a 70% chance of having a 3,000 meter or below long race. So I literally just do not care about if it's a 3,400 or 3,600. And then on 3,200, kind of a toss-up, honestly. On 3,200, she sometimes does it, sometimes she doesn't. Once again, we didn't get late surger corner from Aishin Flash, so sadly we got kind of screwed on that. But ultimately, this is like a 15 EAS. And she replaced a pacemaker, so she automatically, or sorry, pace chaser, so she automatically gets like 5,000 additional points just from being able to get the good positioning bonus. And so, yeah, I mean, look at this, 10,034 speed with 4 speed cards. Yeah, it's bad. This Zuma struggles a little bit, although I recently learned that there's some things that I was doing that was causing that struggle, and I do think that if I just trained her for a little bit longer and refined my approach, that I would get a stronger Uma. But I kind of don't care now. She did good. Whatever. Gold ship, no nuts. I mean, it's gold ship. She's like insane. She has 20% stamina growth. She's got Coast is Clear, which is like a super good skill. Yes, the new Sweep Tosho SSR is out. That makes her even better. And yeah, it's insane, man. Like Gold Ship is so strong. She's another one of those optimal Umas. I'm just like, hey, why do you not have Gold Ship on like end closer long? Like, what are we thinking here? What do we think is gonna happen? This is another Uma that won CM2 for me because she's just a stat 6. She's just so strong. Yeah, pretty impressive Uma. Really love her, and yeah. But nothing really to note here. The design's very simple. We took exactly what you'd expect. Nothing interesting. Ogre Cap. She's the best. She's the best. She's the best, and she is the best. She will always be better than Taiki Shuttle and Alcondra Pasa. There is nobody who can do pace better than her in mile. She is so much better than them that there's no reason to. There's good regular mile runners. Nobody on dirt even comes close to her. Run her. Her stamina's a little low. That was kind of my design at the time. I liked doing really under staminaed Umas. I thought it was a cool idea, so I only brought a single power card, and I think I did a full power inherit. If I were to redo this now, I would do this. I almost said much differently. I would do it differently. Not too much differently, but a lot differently. More races for sure. I mean, what are we doing? 16 races? I don't know what I was thinking back then. But this Ogre Cap gets 55k points, so, I mean, say what you will. Smart Falcon. OP. Center stage. Comes built-in center stage. Literally nobody else. Only 2 Umas in the game that have A rank dirt, and she's one of them. And she's a front runner. She has no competition. It's just like, if you're not going to run her, like, you don't have her. Like, that's the only reason you want to run her. To be fair, the actual optimal meta, in my opinion, is Marzensky Dirt, Silent Suzuka Mile. However, I think it's a lot easier to train Smart Falcon Dirt, Marzensky Mile. I think that's a much easier team to build. Doing Marzensky on Dirt's a little bit harder, and Silent Suzuka kind of has an issue where she can't run her own card, and that really diminishes her power and ability to get stuff that she wants. Yeah, I don't know. But like on JP, I've heard that like people run Marzensky Dirt front, and that's very meta. Coming down now to Taiki Shuttle. Strong, just so strong. And if Oguri Cap didn't exist, man, Taiki Shuttle would be killing it. But Oguri Cap does exist, and so what do you do with it? She came out really well. She did really well. She's very powerful. She rivals Oguri Cap a lot of the time. Oguri Cap still wins. This team gets 145k wins easily. This team would be better if Gold City was over here. If Gold City was over here, we could potentially have 160k wins on my dirt team, which would be insane. But I don't have Gold City over there, so that's what it is. Anyway, I guess that's it. That's kind of the spiel I went on earlier. I think that in the future, when I watch this video again, because I don't even know if anybody else is actually going to watch this video. I don't know if I'm going to upload it. It might just be for myself. But when I watch this video again, I think part of me is really going to wish that I had explained some other things that I was doing and thinking, because part of this is really supposed to be a time capsule. But hopefully any information about what I was thinking or doing back then will become apparent to me by looking at some of these racers. So yeah, that's it, man. Thank you for watching or skimming through this video, and I hope that this is as interesting for you in the future to look back on as it was for me to pontificate on, in the aftermath of my 700k win. All right.